On today's Locked On Thunder podcast, SGA embarrasses the Hornets as the Thunder flip a switch and get the win.
You are Locked On Thunder, your daily Oklahoma City Thunder podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Let's get it going on the Locked On Thunder podcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your teams every day. I am your host, media member, and beat writer for Thunder on SI, Rylan Stiles. Follow me on Twitter at Rylan_Stiles. Follow the show on Twitter at LOThunderPod. Email the show, LOThunderPod@gmail.com. On today's show, we're diving into the Oklahoma City Thunder beating the Charlotte Hornets in a game that it took a third quarter avalanche to extend themselves and gain separation away from Charlotte. But ultimately, the Thunder took care of business. Again, thank you all for listening. You everydayers make this show work. It's a Locked On Thunder podcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, the #1 sports podcasting network in the world. And we have so much content for you on top of every single Monday through Friday with our daily 30-minute show. We also have 4 live streams per week. The 2 on Monday and Thursday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time with myself and Derek Parker. And then the brand new 2 on Tuesday and Thursday at 3:30 p.m. Central Time with Tyler Jones and Jeremy Lamb, former Thunder player that debuted on Thursday. Make sure you go back and listen to that. But it's been a lot of fun, and I cannot thank you all enough for supporting the show to the point where we're talking with former NBA players. We're growing this show every single day, and you guys make it work. This is a bonus show on this weekend against the Charlotte Hornets. And yeah, it has the vibes of a chill weekend show because this game had the vibes of a Saturday night in Charlotte. The Charlotte Hornets, on the second night of a back-to-back, they took Milwaukee to overtime. The Thunder, after 2 straight off days, perhaps rest versus rest factor here. Who knows if you want to get into that. But nonetheless, the Thunder end up, at the end of it, it looks pretty normal. 22-point lead was the Thunder's biggest lead of the night. They won 101-96, holding Charlotte below 100 points despite Charlotte's red-hot shooting from 3, where they shot almost 40% for the game. But again, at the end of the night, the only thing that jumps out as like random or porous or like what you would not expect is the turnovers. The Thunder had 14 turnovers in this game, and Charlotte only had 13. You would have expected a team like Charlotte, who turns the ball over almost more than anybody, to just pile them up in this game against OKC. Instead, it was the Thunder who had to correct their bad habits of turning the ball over early in this game. But again, things settled in for Oklahoma City. They shot 50% from the floor. They shot 45% from 3. They end up shooting 80% at the free throw line. The Thunder win points in the paint, as is usual, 58-42. The Thunder lose second chance points, and a lot of those were just putbacks from Charlotte after prayers at the rim into a clogged lane. And the Thunder dominate fast break points despite having more turnovers. They dominate fast break points 15-1. So this was a normal Thunder game. What wasn't normal was you had to go through 11 lead changes and 12 ties to get there. This is a situation where the Thunder absolutely have a flip of the switch that they can go to. They can talk about 0-0. They can talk about 1 of 82. They can talk about how they don't ever just turn it on. In a lot of ways, all of that is true, obviously, because like the 0-0 and 1 of 82 portion of it is, they're trying to win this game against Charlotte. I'll tell you what, you look around the NBA, and if a lot of teams started out how the Thunder did tonight offensively with turnovers and missed shots, and Charlotte starts out the way that they did with just amazing 3-point shooting from their bad roster, a lot of other NBA teams say, you know what, it's not our night. Let's just pack it up and go home. A lot of them also have a bigger deficit that they're dug into at that point than a 6-point deficit. So the Thunder do take every game as seriously as possible, and they do try to win every single game, 1 of 82, all that good stuff. But there is a switch. They can turn it on, and that's a good thing. I don't think that the Thunder should shy away from that. I think that in this game, you saw what I would say is course correcting, if you don't want to use the term flipping of a switch, because it sounds like you're just choosing not to. But you came out, you didn't have the proper energy, you didn't have the proper execution, you didn't have the proper intensity. After halftime in the third quarter, everything changed, and you look like your old self. The fact that this team can make that self-assessment, can make that correction, is unique. And it does lend them to getting wins like this one. Because again, if you watch that first half, many other NBA teams would have had themselves buried and dead against these Hornets after that first half because they would want to just pack it up and go home. The Thunder didn't do that. The Thunder came out there strong, and in the third quarter, they just took the Charlotte Hornets behind the woodshed. I mean, they just beat them over and over and over again. 32 points to 18 points in the third quarter for Oklahoma City. SGA had 15 points by himself in the third quarter, and the Thunder get a massive win in the sense of a blowout win. And that is part of being a massive win, is just taking care of your business. And the final score got a little bit closer than what the second half really was, frankly, because the G League team for the Hornets who checked in, they made a 10-2 run at the end of the fourth quarter. But this game was in hand. Shai, once again, does not have to play the fourth quarter. The Thunder actually left Chet and Ihart and those guys out there a little longer. Part of that, I believe, might have been because of who you were down. Like the J-Will was a late scratch. He's a guy that's been soaking up some of those minutes. Brandon Carlson still got 17 minutes in this game. So part of that is maybe the injury report, which if you didn't catch it, still no J-Dub, still no Kenrich, still no Topic, still no Wiggins. And then Lu Dort did return tonight. Alex Caruso went out after 2 minutes of action with a hand soreness. I'm no doctor, and I didn't stay at a Best Western last night, but is that the hotel? But hand soreness does not seem like it's something to be very concerned about. And so he only played 2 minutes. It was due to hand soreness. Lu Dort does return. Lu Dort makes a positive impact defensively, as always, but he's clearly rusty. He's clearly got to find his groove. He's clearly got to find his offensive rhythm, because the things that were glaringly bad for Lu Dort today in this game, it was just his timing and decision-making. And with a player like Lu, who's like such a complementary piece and an ancillary piece to the Thunder offense, like he's got to figure out his role again. He's got to figure out when to pass, when to shoot, and the timing of it all. A rhythm shooter, a catch-and-shoot guy. Like, it was expected that he would struggle offensively. He wasn't exactly crisp offensively before the injury even. So I think that you just got to give him time to figure himself out on that end of the floor, because ultimately he still ends as a plus 23. He gets 4 rebounds and then plays some good defense on some contests. But the turnover that he had and the 3 missed shots, just couldn't even get shots up really in the grand scheme of things. So it just didn't come to him in this game. And the offense, I think, will eventually come to Lu Dort. I don't think that there's any reason to be concerned. And I think that's part of why you like seeing him return against this game. I think that so often we kind of view injuries and we kind of view, the return to play protocol stuff as like a video game, where it's like, well, once they no longer have that red injury next to their name, then all of a sudden all their attributes return to normal and they're just this great player. You can save them. You can save them for a bigger game. Like, no, this is why you wanted Lu Dort as soon as he was healthy to get out there, even if it's against Charlotte, because you're going to have to go through these pains of getting him back into a rhythm. And so now he'll have this game, potentially we'll have the Monday New Orleans game. And like, these can be games that help build him up leading into the NBA Cup schedule at the end of this week. And of course, during the holiday season on Thanksgiving week. So Lu, not a good game from him offensively. I think that there's reasons for that. Coming up, it was a good game. 4-1 SGA, who dominated this contest and embarrassed the Charlotte Hornets. But first, I want to tell you right now about our good friends over at Wayfair, folks. Wayfair is incredible. You're going to want to go there right now because the holiday season is right around the corner. And that means it's time to get your home ready. Whether you are in need of seats for guests, or you need new linens, or you need fun serveware, it's holiday hosting season, and Wayfair has their Black Friday sale here to help you make your space greater and make your space shine. The best part is you don't have to wait. Wayfair's Black Friday deals are happening all month long. Save up to 70% off everything from the stores to the spatulas and sofas. Everything you need, you can save there at Wayfair. Go check them out today, because if you've ever hosted your family for the holidays, you know how stressful it can be. You know that you don't want to be sitting there and missing something at the last minute. take an inventory check, see what all you need, whether you need to refresh your dining room with more seating because perhaps your family has grown, whether you need better serveware because you've never really done this before, hosting a big meal. Go check it out today at Wayfair and get what you need. So do not miss the early Black Friday deals. Head to wayfair.com right now. Shop Wayfair's Black Friday sale for today at up to 70% off your order at Wayfair, WAYFAIR.com. Sale ends December 7th. We're back on the Locked On Thunder podcast, on the Locked On Podcast Network, your teams every day. That third quarter won this game for Oklahoma City. You know, they were able to flip a switch and go from a boring night in Charlotte to an avalanche run to get them the win. And SGA was a big part of that. 15 points in the third quarter alone. It was a domination. It was, frankly, Shai embarrassing the Charlotte Hornets because they couldn't do anything about it. They just couldn't. That three-point shot was working for him. And folks, don't look now. For all of you after the first week of the season that were demanding that Shai should stop shooting threes and that Shai should get to the rim more. Meanwhile, we sat here on this show talking about the benefits of Shai shooting the ball more from beyond the arc, the benefits of Shai being more comfortable taking three-point shots. Don't look now, but all of a sudden, Shai is executing. His last three games, Shai is shooting 43% from beyond the arc. Tonight, he hits a couple step-back threes en route to a 3-for-4 night overall from beyond the arc, 4 for 5 from the charity stripe. He shot 68% from the floor. The turnaround at the elbow jumper where he ends up on his backside because of the contest and he knocks it home for the N1. Like, that's just special stuff. You just cannot teach that. That's just Shai. I think that his feathery touch is so underrated because of everything that precedes it, right? Like you get lost in his handle. You get lost in his contortions of his body to throw defenses off and to herky jerk himself around defenders. And then you forget that like the shot went in because it bounced off the cylinder 3 times and then fell because he's got this soft touch that lends itself to the friendly rolls. 33 points from him, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals. He was a plus 21 in this game in 30 minutes of action. That's 3 times where he was able to log 30 points plus through 3 quarters and not play a single minute of the fourth quarter. That's 7 times this season, which I believe has already matched what he did a year ago in this category of scoring 30 points through 3 quarters. It's special stuff. It really is. And tonight, I thought that what shined through beyond the offense and what transcended the offense was his defense. Because he ends up with 2 steals, but man, his activity on that end of the floor with contests on the 3-point line, with deflections, with his quick hands. I mean, we had one play at the end of the first quarter? At the end of the first quarter where Trey Mann is snaking through the lane and trying to get a buzzer beater off, and from behind, SGA pokes the ball free and disrupts his opportunity. He can't get a shot up, and that's how it ended for Charlotte. And it's like his quick hands at times did not present box score opportunities for him. He does end up with 2 steals, but he was much more impactful than that on the defensive end. And one of those steals, the steals for SGA obviously come mostly as a help side defender or as a defender of an off-ball player. And he is able to just take away entry passes in a big way. And this has been a trend for him for 3 straight years. And his ability to jump entry passes, his ability to get deflections in the passing lanes, it allows other guys to clean it up as well. And it's just such a valuable trait, but also beyond valuable. It is a indispensable option for Oklahoma City to have Shai play defense this way, because you could not have the best defense in the sport 2 years running, and this year being 6 points better than the second best. You could not have these historic heights defensively if you had a different star. If you had a different star who is only great and efficient and wonderful offensively and doesn't play at all defensively, that neuters how good you can be on that end of the floor. Like, yeah, you can hide those guys. You can work around them, but you can't work around them to be historic. And Shai lets you be historic. Shai lets you be who you are because of his compete level on both ends. And that is an impressive motor. It's a motor that almost nobody in the league has. There are some, like you look around at Giannis, for example, but almost nobody can match the motor of SGA. And tonight, he was just fantastic. And in that third quarter, it felt like he could do whatever he wanted to. It felt like tonight he could name his score. And these are this kind of scoring rhythms that he can get into where he's hitting tough shots on the baseline, hitting tough mid-ranges, slithering his way to the rim, knocking down step-back threes. These are the kind of scoring zones that you just think about afterward, and you wonder what would it have looked like if the other team could have been competitive. And this isn't really exclusive to the Charlotte Hornets. While they're not a competitive team at now 4-9, I mean, the Warriors couldn't do it. The Lakers couldn't do it. It's like, if you forced Shai to play the fourth quarter, how much could he have gotten tonight? With him in that scoring zone where he's not even seeing defenders, he's just shooting over the top of them. Like, what would have been the end result? And he gets into these scoring zones all the time. And what hurts his career highs, what hurts his statistics in a sense, is the fact that he doesn't play fourth quarters. However, he didn't play a lot of fourth quarters last year. He sat out a quarter of the fourth quarters last year, and he led league in scoring. Like, he's that good of a scorer. It's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive stuff from SGA, and pretty normal stuff from SGA. But I also think that Chet Holmgren, like, he needs a big shout out in this contest, because without Chet, you are down by a lot more than 6. Like, without Chet in the first half, the Hornets can grow a double-digit lead, perhaps a 15-point lead, if Chet's not out there, because he was that impactful on the offensive end and the defensive end. Defensively, you saw it. I mean, he's blocking shots, he's tapping out rebounds, like, he's mixing it up. But offensively, when this team was laboring, when this team couldn't hit their open shots, when they simply couldn't hold on to the basketball, when they couldn't get into their actions, it was Chet who cleaned a lot of that up. Attacking the paint off the catch and getting a slam, diving to the rim, following his missed shot as Hartenstein rebounds it and kicks it to him. He continues that trend of being a cutter as he's cutting at a career high rate per game for him. And we even got to see Chet play some solo big minutes tonight. And what a luxury to be able to switch up when you have double bigs, when you have just Chet, and then you even played Carlson tonight, who Carlson gave you some pretty solid minutes, thrusted into duty. I mean, Jay Whale was a later addition to the injury report. Carlson had been playing with the Blue, of course, this week, and then he goes out there for 7 points off the bench, 2 blocks, a nice little game from him. I found it interesting that Mark challenged his illegal screen in the first half. It's like, this is the first half of a close game, and you're challenging an illegal screen to take a foul off of Brandon Carlson. I didn't quite understand that. I think that let me say this. I understood what he saw, and I agree. I don't know how the refs didn't change their mind. Their excuse was, or their explanation was, the push didn't generate enough force to render the screen non-illegal. I don't know how you can judge that based upon the video. Like, all you see in the video is him pushing. I don't know how you can judge the feel of how much force there was, but they did. So, but anyway, winning it or losing it, to me, I just find it interesting. The pros and cons of, like, well, the pro of reversing this decision is that you retain possession, but does the possession really matter in the first half against the Charlotte Hornets? And you'd get the foul off of Brandon Carlson, and all due respect to Brandon Carlson, it wasn't as though he was in deep foul trouble, and it was as though as if he was into foul trouble, which he only finished with 2 fouls tonight. It wasn't as though if he was in foul trouble that it would have really mattered anyway. So I just didn't understand that from the sense of the pros and cons of that particular play. If I had to guess, I haven't seen anybody ask me about this yet. If I had to guess, it just felt like such a surefire thing, because you saw in the video the push, and you're making these split-second decisions that it's like, well, we're going to win it, so might as well do it. And they ended up not winning it. But if I had to guess, that's kind of what happened. I just didn't understand the value of that singular possession. But I could have also been missing something on what he was searching for more than just the possession. Anyway, Chet Holmgren, I thought that Carlson gave them good minutes. I thought that Ihart gave them good minutes. Isaiah Hartenstein has been a guy who, once again, logs a double-double, 12 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals for him, and finishes shooting 60% from the floor. Those two guys with Chet and Ihart continue to find each other and find a passing rhythm together. I think that you can go and listen to iHeart talk about their relationship and talk about how at the end of last year, whenever they finally got to play together, they didn't get to play together until February 7th. At that time, it felt like they were kind of in each other's way a little bit. And now they're figuring out how to pick their spots. And you can really see that answer in practice when you watch them this season compared to last season. So the front court was really good tonight. Shai was obviously excellent tonight. I think that Cason Wallace was awesome in this game. AJ Mitchell gets into double figures again. We'll talk about all that coming up. But first, I want to say right now, we're good friends over at Built. Nobody likes paying rent, and if it's a must for you, which it is, you might as well get something for it. That's where Built comes in. Built is changing the game by turning your rent payment into real rewards you can actually use. When you pay rent through Built, you can earn flexible points that can give you redeemed toward hundreds of hotels and airlines, future rent payments, your next Lyft ride, and more. And Built isn't just about rent. It's about rewarding you around your entire neighborhood. So check them out today because Built has made every day feel more rewarding. From your neighborhood to your travel plans, you can go use them again on your favorite local restaurants. You can use them on a Lyft ride. You can use them on your next rent payment if you just want to get ahead on that. Turn your rent into rewards by starting to use the reward points around your neighborhood by going to joinbuilt.com/LockedOnNBA. That's joinbilt.com/LockedOnNBA. Make sure you use that link so that way they know that we sent you. Also want to say right now, my good friends over at FanDuel, folks. FanDuel's incredible. You want to go there right now because the NBA season is back. There's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of a game, perhaps tonight the game snuck up on you with a 6 p.m. tip, and you wanted to ride the hot hand of SGA, you could have done that. FanDuel lets you live bet on games, on who will score next, the fourth quarter comebacks, point totals, everything like that. So you can even combine those same game parlays at a shot for a bigger payout. It keeps the games exciting, especially when your team is making a late push. You can do it pregame. You can do it during the game. You can have future bets for like the future odds of who's going to win the NBA championship. Right now, FanDuel has new customers with $300 in bonus bets. If your first $5 bet hits, that's your first $5 bet. If it hits, you get $300 in bonus bets. Head to FanDuel.com right now to sign up today and play and get started with the official sports betting partner of the NBA. The Dallas Mavericks taking on the Portland Trail Blazers. The Dallas Mavericks 4-point underdogs at home. Underdogs at home. Surprise, surprise, after firing Nico Harrison. A game that's very, very, very important for Oklahoma City. Clippers at Celtics. Clippers 5-point underdogs in Boston with no Kawhi. You can go bet on that at FanDuel.com. We're back on the Lockdown Thunder podcast, on the Lockdown Podcast Network, your teams every day. I want to talk to you right now about our good friend, Cason Wallace. The steal and the oop really punctuated what his impact was tonight. And that was that third quarter where the team really started to put the clamps down on Charlotte and run away with this game. He got out in transition. He played fast. He played hard. He was one of the first guys to kind of turn the tide of this game energy-wise, and that energy was kind of infectious. And he was just his role tonight. He got to do a little bit more on the ball. Primarily, Chet was the one who got to do more on the ball today. But Cason did his job as a play finisher. 2 for 2 from 3. And I thought that his best 3 of the night, his best shot of the night, and arguably the best play of the night was SGA driving downhill in semi-transition and kicks it over to Cason Wallace, who's taking steps toward the corner as he catches the ball, launches a 3, and a movement 3, knocks it in for OKC. He tallies up 10 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. He was everywhere tonight. He's been a menace defensively, and him next to Lu Dort, while it was fun, of course, it won't get the headlines until they play someone with an actual pulse, but you can just see the strides that Cason has made as a defender. And I really do hesitate to put words in anybody's mouth, but if you go and listen to the press conferences with Mark, it just feels like they're getting at he's taking the preparation more seriously, whether that's watching film as a guy who has said that he does not watch film last year or reading the scouting reports. Like, it just feels like he's taking it more seriously than he did. Not to say anything about last year's serious level, but more seriously than he did. And you're seeing that stand up on top of him being a highly instinctual player. He's now, kind of predicting. He's now, not so much gambling. He's now kind of understanding what guys are trying to do, what they're trying to counter with, when they're going to go to the counters. He understands the tendencies more. Cason Wallace has been excellent on the defensive end, and he's really shown in this season. He's been a vital piece to this season for Oklahoma City, and I think that he's on his way to an all-defensive team membership. I really do. And this is where it gets tricky, because the Thunder will yet again sit here with the best defense in the NBA, and right now they're on pace to do it by a wide margin. And how do you split the votes? Who do you put the votes in for? I think that of all the years where this could be the year for Cason, on top of his individual production, being the league leader in steals, on top of that, J-Dub, in all likelihood, will not be eligible because he's already missed so many games. Again, that's just in all likelihood. That's not a certainty, but it's trending that way, to where that takes one of your best defenders out of the category. Then you're battling with Chet. You're battling with Lu, who's missed a lot of games. You're battling with Caruso, who, again, we've seen them be more reserved with Caruso. I think that this is setting up to where it's like Cason Wallace is going to be a lock for all defensive membership in this season, an all defensive team member. I don't know why I keep calling it a membership. It's not Costco. But Cason Wallace, he better make all defensive team. If this trend continues, which it surely will, he better make all defensive team. AJ Mitchell got into double figures again off the bench, 14 points for him, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, and a block. He shot 40% from the floor. You want to see AJ start to knock down some of these catch and shoot opportunities that he's generating. Obviously, a lot of them will be made easier once J-Dub returns, and he's kind of in that same boat that we talked about before with Cason, and Cason has been put in that boat, and now we've seen the realities of where his shooting has leveled off at. But there's not a big enough sample size for AJ Mitchell to know what's real about his shooting. Last year, on almost 2 attempts per game, he shot 38% from 3. Really, really high quality number for what he's asked to do. If he can get back to that, which is a 4% decrease right now from beyond the arc for AJ Mitchell. If he can get back to that 38% mark, then it really takes his game to even a bigger level, which is already crazy because he's already talked about as the sixth man of the year. He's already stealing headlines on the Bill Simmons podcast for AJ Mitchell in the month of November, talking NBA hoops. That's how good AJ Mitchell has been. And so AJ Mitchell, I thought he was good tonight. I thought that Chet was really good tonight. I thought that Chet was even more efficient than what he ends up with. And he ends up shooting 50% from the floor and 2 for 4 from 3. I thought that some of the fourth quarter minutes that, he might not have been out there, traditionally, I thought that kind of tainted a little bit of his efficiency, but 25 points from Chet, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block. He was awesome. Shai was awesome. Ihart got you a double-double. Cason got you the play finishing numbers as an offensive outlet, and then AJ got you double digits off the bench. This was just the Thunder formula. This is just what the Thunder do. And we mentioned Caruso left the game with hand soreness. So this is another bonus pod of Locked On Thunder. We have you covered Monday through Friday, every single day with a 30-minute show. We also have bonus podcasts out there for you after games like this that fall on the weekend, that don't fall in that normal Monday through Friday parameter. We also have our Locked On Thunder squad show with Jeremy Lamb Tuesday and Thursday at 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. We also have our live hangout with Derek Parker at 2 p.m. Monday and Thursday, live on YouTube, uploaded to your podcast feed later. Both of those last shows, the squad show and the live hangout with DP, those are live on YouTube, uploaded to podcast feeds later. Of course, we are here for you every single day. Subscribe to Locked On Thunder anywhere you get your podcast from. This has been a lot of fun. I want to take the second to thank you all sincerely for listening, getting to do this. This is show number 11 on the week, and it's all because of you all. So I appreciate that. And from here on out, we looking at the calendar, folks, it's 10 pod weeks from here on out. And that's because you all have grown this show. So I appreciate that in a big way. Love getting to talk to Jeremy Lamb on these pods as well. Leave a comment, subscribe, review, all the stuff you're supposed to say. Until next time, folks, be good and be good to one another.